Extra points, something as a football fan base I think we all take for granted. The times I counted when the Vikings scored a touchdown and I just added 7 points to the score automatically just to see Greg Joseph miss another PAT and have the Vikings only score 6 points. However, Vikings fans, from the years 1998 to 2002, there was a kicker for the Vikings who made 98.8% of his PATs. Now yes, in 2015 the NFL moved the extra point kicks back to make it harder for the kickers, but you can't say that 98.8% is not great. The kicker in question, you may ask? Gary Anderson, a 23-year NFL vet who played for the Steelers, the Vikings, the Eagles, 49ers, and the Titans. Throughout the years with each of his 6 teams, Anderson made a career PAT percentage of 99.2%. Now statistically, Gary is not the greatest extra point kicker of all time, but it adds to the meat and potatoes of this video. Today, I wanted to shine some light on an underrated kicker in NFL history who didn't get the flowers he deserved. To start this story, we head to South Africa, where Gary was born in 1959. South Africa has been a noteworthy adversary in rugby and soccer due to colonial ties, and Anderson himself playing rugby while growing up. When he was a teenager, he moved to the States with his parents and got a scholarship to kick at Syracuse University. While at Syracuse, Anderson went 72 for 72 on extra points and finished his junior year campaign going 18 for 19 on field goals and finally declared for the draft. In the '82 draft, he was drafted in the 7th round by the Bills. The Bills, however, cut Anderson prior to the season. A decision looking back now that probably wasn't the best. Gary was later picked up by the Steelers in '82, where he appeared in 9 games, making 10 of 12 field goals and earning a deal. In '83, Gary began to gain some recognition because he earned his first Pro Bowl appearance, kicking 97% on PATs and 87% on field goals. Within the next 11 years with the Steelers, Anderson accumulated another 2 Pro Bowls and made 272 out of 352 field goals, along with only missing 3 extra points the entire time. Gary also made the Hall of Fame All-1980s Decade Team with the likes of Morton Anderson and Eddie Murray, so keep that name Morton Anderson in your mind for later in this video. Between 1995 to 1997, Gary played for both the Eagles and 49ers while kicking a modest 80% from field goals, making 110 of 111 extra points. But the year 1998 was a little different for Gary Anderson. For that offseason, the Minnesota Vikings signed Anderson in hopes to have a reliable kicker, as in the years 1995 to 97, the Vikings didn't see their kicker make over 80% of their field goal attempts. Gary turned that field goal made percentage around, to say the least. Gary became the first kicker in NFL history to not miss a field goal or extra point an entire season, kicking 35 for 35 with field goals and 59 for 59 with PATs. Anderson earned a Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors while helping the top-scoring Vikings team, consisting of Robert Smith, Randall Cunningham, Randy Moss, and Chris Carter, to a record of 15-1, one of the best seasons in Vikings history, and they look primed for a Super Bowl run. In the divisional round, the Vikings won 41-21 against the Cardinals, setting up a championship game against the Atlanta Falcons. With the score being 27-20 in the 4th quarter, Anderson had a chance to put the Vikings up 10 with 2 minutes and 11 seconds left. Anderson, in his previous 13 playoff games with the Steelers, Eagles, and 49ers, made a combined 81% from field goals he attempted. But on that winter night in January, on the 28-yard line, all the accolades, all the stats, only to be remembered for 1 kick.
Field goal, the answer should probably be yes.
39 yards away, and it's not good.
The savage part of sports. After his miss, the Falcons tied the game at 27 and sent the game to overtime, where the Falcons' own Anderson, Morton Anderson, sent the Falcons to their very first Super Bowl with a kick of his own, shocking the entire NFL landscape. Vikings fans crushed, players crushed, entire region in the United States crushed. Gary said many years later, "It certainly was difficult. I took tremendous pride throughout my career being the one guy on the team that everyone could count on in a critical situation. And that time, that particular kick, I missed the kick. So yeah, that was certainly a difficult thing to deal with. And man, did that kick affect him the season later in 1999. Because yes, he didn't miss a PAT, but Anderson kicked a very sad 63% on his field goals that season. Tough year. But he was surprisingly not cut. And even though Gary finished the 90s on a wrong foot, he still got selected for the Hall of Fame 1990s All-Decade Team. Anderson played the next 3 years with the Vikings 2000, 2001, 2002, while kicking 85% on field goals and 98% on his PATs. Then finally in 03 and 04 with the Titans, Gary rode off into the sunset, kicking 83% on field goals for them. Anderson retired after the 2004 season with career stats of 80.1 field goal percentage, 99.2 extra point percentage, and his longest field goal being 55 yards. With his retirement as well, Gary held the record for most points scored in NFL history with 2,434 points, but a couple years later that was broken by none other than Morton Anderson. Then eventually Adam Vinatieri became the NFL record holder. I also like to say that he was 5th all-time in extra point percentage when he retired, but he has now dropped to 16th all-time. I'm not counting the current 1st and 2nd place persons. Finally, he's the only kicker I know, with his accolades and stats, that is not in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. That's just crazy. And that is a monstrosity in of itself, especially since Morton is in and Vinatieri will eventually be in, with all having similar points and kicking percentages through their careers. So there it is. A story about the NFL's most overlooked and underappreciated kickers of all time. A man who deserves credit, but will only be remembered for a few crucial seconds of his long career. Or if you want to go fly fishing in Canada, then you can hit him up. And if you could hit the like button, the subscribe button, and hit the bell notification. Thank you.